Hi everybody, welcome to Miss Shaw's Art Room. Today, I'm so glad you're here because we're talking about texture. What is texture exactly? Well, texture is the way something feels. Don't worry, I brought along a couple examples to show you what I'm talking about. This is just a cookie tin lid. What do you think the texture on this is? What do you think that feels like? It feels smooth. The texture on this is smooth. How about this? Texture on this is bumpy. That's right, bumpy. Now, look at this. Texture on this, you might say is soft, or you might even say fluffy. So soft and fluffy. Okay, now that we understand a little bit about texture, I'm going to show you what we're making today. We are making terrific texture turtles. Check it out, he's so cute. I can't wait to get started.
Today we are using crayons to rub texture on our turtles. To do a crayon rubbing, hold the crayon with its side flat on the paper and rub back and forth. What do you think would happen if I put a bumpy texture underneath my paper while I was rubbing the crayon? Let's find out. I'm going to use a special tool called a texture plate under my paper to create some bumpy textures. And you're in luck too, because I have all different kinds of texture plates for you to try out on your turtles. Your turtle paper will be taped down on one side to keep it from moving while you're rubbing. To get started, lift up the side of your paper that is not taped down and put the texture plate underneath the part of your paper where you want to rub first. I'm starting with the turtle's flippers, which are like his legs. Rub the crayon back and forth over the bumpy texture plate as hard as you can. Don't worry about coloring outside the lines because we're going to be cutting out our turtles later. I'm using one color for my turtle's flippers, head, and tail, and then I will use a different color for the turtle's body. Okay, let's fast forward a little bit while I color. I wish I could color this fast in real life. Since the texture plate is smaller than my turtle, I have to lift up my paper and move the plate around to the different parts of the turtle. I'm going to use a different texture plate and a different color crayon for my turtle's shell. You may be wondering why I didn't use any green on my turtle. That's because I'm going to paint green watercolor over my crayon texture in the next step. I'm using two different shades of green watercolor paint today because I want my turtle to have some contrast in color. That means that I want my turtle to have different color greens to make it look a little bit more interesting. I'm painting my turtle's flippers, tail, and head light green and my turtle's shell dark green. And don't worry if you get paint outside the lines because remember, we're cutting our turtle out when we're done painting. Now something really cool is going to happen here as I start to paint. The places where I colored with crayon are not going to soak in the green paint. This is called a watercolor resist. That means that the crayon is working like a raincoat to keep the paper dry. Time to fast forward again while I paint. Now, because I want to use a different color green for my turtle's body, I want to make sure that I wash my paintbrush and give it a bath before I switch to my darker color green. So I'm going to wash it off, and then I'm going to wipe it off on my paper towel and go ahead and switch to my new color. Time to fast forward again.
Okay, for our next step, we're going to create an ocean for our terrific texture turtle to live in. So for that, we're going to use this blue paper, a big paintbrush, and some blue tempera paint, which is different from the watercolor paint. You can see the watercolor is a lot more like water, and this tempera paint is a lot thicker. Okay, so for this, we're not going to use any water for this. I'm going to take that away. We want to be able to see all the brush strokes that these little bristles make. These hairs are called bristles. So I'm just going to use a little bit of paint. Just a little tiny bit of paint, just like that.
because I want to be able to see that. Do you see all of those cool lines that the bristles of the paintbrush make? That's what I like. So I'm going to use just a tiny little paint, and I'm going to make just kind of like little wavy lines. I'm going to get a little more from there. Make wavy lines, or you can make straight lines, diagonal lines, whatever you'd like to do. I just kind of want to make this look like an ocean. Okay, get a little more from there. I'm going to get a tiny bit more paint, as little as you can. Tiny bit more. Put some right there. This is called dry brush. When you're painting with the dry brush painting technique, means basically you're not using very much water and you're letting your paint dry out on your paintbrush. So you can see all these wonderful marks that the hairs on your paintbrush make. I'm gonna do one more little dip down here. How cool. The neat thing about doing a dry brush technique is it dries quickly. All right, now that my turtle and my water background are both dry, we can begin to put everything together. Okay, I'm gonna start by cutting out my turtle. The easiest way to do that is to first go around all the outside edges near where the turtle's flippers and tail and head are and cut away the extra white paper. Then it'll be a little easier for me to go and get in all those hard to reach areas. Time to fast forward again while I cut. Remember to only cut away the part of the paper that is white. So I am just cutting around the outside edge of the turtle's body. Don't worry if you accidentally cut off a turtle flipper. I always have tape around to fix a turtle in need. Okay, our next step is to give our turtle an eye so he can see. Now we're going to use liquid white glue. So what you need to do to open it is just turn this orange top until it is all the way open and it won't turn anymore. And you're just going to put 1 drop of glue. That's all you need, 1 drop. And then right where the circle is, you're just going to press that down. You got to push down and hold it and count to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Terrific. All right, now we're gonna get ready to glue our turtle onto our background. So what I'm gonna do right now is turn my turtle over, and I'm gonna use my glue again to make lines of glue around the edge of my turtle, just like that. You see how I did that? Just 1 line. And I didn't put it too close to the edge, because if I put the glue really close to the edge, it would come all squirting out. It goes squirt. So we don't want it to squirt out and make a big glue puddle. So you're just drawing a line all the way around the edge of the turtle without getting too close. There we go. All the way around the edge. And then I like to make an X in the center. Okay, so now he's ready to be glued on. I'll lift him up. Getting ready to put my turtle up. Oops, I dropped him. That's okay, because if I spilled any glue, glue dries clear. So you can decide how you want him to go. I think I want mine to be swimming up a little bit. So now I'm just gonna press them down everywhere. Now this last step is optional. That means you don't have to do it if you don't want. You can take a green oil pastel and draw the little lines of the shell. So that's what I'm gonna do. All I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a dot right here by the tail.
And I'm going to make another dot about right here by the bottom of the head. And I'm just going to kind of make a smiley line all the way across till it connects to that dot. Oops, some of the glue squishing out. Okay, now I'm just going to make some up and down vertical lines, just like this. There we go. And now last thing is, if you want to, you can make a little C, like the letter C, and then a backwards letter C.
Well, I think this texture turtle truly is terrific, and I hope you have as much fun making yours as I did making mine. See you next time.